Hello, everyone. Busy job, family commitments, not enough time to get out and enjoy your photography? You're not alone. Stick around and why don't you try my 1 hour photo challenge? Well, welcome back. And as I said in the intro, if you're anything like me, then with work and family commitments, your time for nature and photography is going to be pretty limited. But we all know how important it is, for our mental well-being to go out and enjoy the things that we love. So it's important to make time for those things. Last week, I decided that I'd try and put in a few measures and try and cultivate a few ideas to get me out in the field and out with the camera and enjoying those elements of my life. And one day last week, I had a free hour during one point in the day. So I decided that I'd set myself a challenge. And the challenge was to, from scratch, with one camera and one lens, to go out and take a meaningful photograph, to take a photograph that I would be happy to print and maybe hang on the wall. Now, this is a pretty tough challenge, as I found out. I went out with no preconceived ideas. As I said, I limited myself just to one camera and a lens. The lens I chose was a 24 to 70 millimeter f2.8, and the camera body was my trusty old Nikon D800, which is as battered as hell, but is still going strong. And is still great for the sort of photography that I do, particularly in the local woodland, which is basically where I decided to go. So I'm pretty lucky. Just out of my back gate is basically 200 yards up the path. I can immerse myself in 100 acres of woodland where there are opportunities, plenty of photographic opportunities, and loads of really cool stuff. But as I found out, being January, no flowers out, there's very little color, and I went out in the brightest of conditions. It was a really bright sunny day. I went out in the middle of the day, so I was really up against it. But anyway, here's how I got on. So here I go then. So I'm just about to walk out of my garden gate, and I'll show you, quite how close I am to the woodland, which is really quite helpful when you've not got a lot of time. I know this, but I guess I'm lucky. But I think we've all got places where we could actually go and take images, in just an hour or so. Anyway, that's the that's the task today, or that's the challenge. So we'll see what we can do. So I've just come out of the gate, and I'm walking up the path. And I'll just get past the neighbour's house, and I'll basically it's a bit muddy and slippery. It's a beautiful day, and I'll show you quite how close this woodland is. So I have no plan as to what basically I'm going to take. But as I said in the intro, the idea is that in an hour I go and take something which basically I'd be happy to put on my wall. So anyway, I'll just show you how close the woodland is. The path's a bit steep on the way up there. It's on a bit of a ridge, but basically I'll turn the camera around and show you. So as I said, quite close. Let's see how we get on. So here I am in the woodland, and when I turn the camera around, you'll see that basically it's effectively the remnants of an ancient woodland, the heart of which was taken out in the Second World War, like a lot of them were, and was planted with Douglas fir, which is the primary species in here now. So it's a bit of a mixture. Currently there's a bit of felling going on with them harvesting that Douglas fir crop, and hopefully a regeneration back to a more deciduous based woodland, which would be great. But I'll turn the camera around, and basically I'm down a central avenue. There's a perimeter path around the wood, which is about 100 acres, but there are a couple of central avenues, which I really like. A, because not many people walk down them, and B, they're full of birds and plants and flowers in the spring and all sorts of interesting stuff. Obviously, being January, as I'm recording this, you know, there's not really much of interest growing. There are no plants coming out yet. Not even the snowdrops are making an appearance. The light's quite harsh because it's the middle of the day, so I'm really up against it with this challenge. But I'll turn the camera around. I'll show you basically where I am, and let's see if we can find something. So basically, I've been wandering around for quite a while, but I found something that is quite interesting and might work. So I'll just show you where the camera is. It's basically moss. My eyes are being drawn to this sort of green moss on these dead logs, and I really love the colour. So I thought I'd try and capture that in a bit of detail. So basically, I'll turn the camera around, and you can see basically the setup. And if I go down, you can probably see what I'm focusing on there. So there we are. It's just about an hour, so I better head back. As I said, I actually found this a real challenge. There wasn't really a great deal out and about that grabbed my attention in the wood. It being January, there's no real colour around. Everything's sort of shut down for the winter. The light was very harsh, being in the middle of the day, so that cut down, a few of my options. But the one thing that I kept coming back to in that very limited amount of time that I had was the sort of vibrant greens of those mosses, and that's what that's really where my attention was drawn in the end. And that's why I came up with a close-up shot of those sort of lovely vibrant green mosses on those decaying logs. So it was quite tricky to get a composition that I liked, and I didn't really, I don't think I did the best job that I could. I needed a bit more time, if I'm honest. But half of me thinks that actually the whole point of this is to go out and just take a break. We all need this for our mental health. And I just think it's an important thing for us to do, regardless of the fact whether we actually produce an image that we're happy to hang on the wall, for example, or not. And in my case, I probably won't, but I have printed it, but I probably won't put it on my wall. Probably need a bit more time. I mean, I'm like everybody else. I'm my own fiercest critic when it comes to photography, but I think it proves a point that it's really important for us to get out and take that break. Particularly for me, being working a lot with on the computer screens all day, then I need to take that break. I need to get away, and I need that fix of nature and photography. The other thing that it does do, I think, is that it gives you a sort of regular, almost like a rhythm. If you keep going out, even if it's for just an hour, and you've got your camera in your hand and you're looking around, it makes you want to go out again the next day if you can. And maybe you'll find in the next few days you've got a little bit more time. So it's just that sort of repeating that process all the time and keeping yourself engaged with nature. As I said, I think that's a really important thing. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope that it, even if you don't take the challenge, I hope that it inspires you to do something else. But if you do want to take the challenge, then I'd be really interested to see, what you managed to come up with. So do post it on social media and tag in Wild Art. So tag in at Wild Art POTY for Photographer of the Year on Instagram and Facebook. And if you're a member of the Facebook group, which is called A Wild Group, then post it on there and let's see what you can do. As I said, I hope you found this inspirational. That's the whole point of it. It's to get you out there, get you thinking slightly differently, and getting you enjoying, being outdoors, being out with your camera, and enjoying nature. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.